Hello, I'm Dr. Kenneth Goldberg, and I'm the author of The Homework Trap: How to Save the Sanity of Parents, Students, and Teachers. Today's comment is about homework and prostate cancer, which may seem like an odd topic, but let me explain. I'm bringing it up because there was a news item recently, and it came from the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, which made a recommendation to basically stop doing routine PSA testing with men my age and younger. And I'm certainly of an age where my doctors have, for quite a while, recommended that I have routine PSA testing, as have a number of friends of mine. And fortunately, I haven't had to go through any procedures following those testing, but several of my friends have. And it's always been in my mind that I know that the outcomes for those friends have differed. Some who seem very satisfied with the results, and some who have had some pretty nightmarish experiences because of the procedures they've had. And I've kind of always known that there was some question about this practice, which my doctor would always assure me you should still have the testing because PSA testing saves lives. Well, now it's entering the professional literature with some authority that routine testing is not recommended, although the American Urological Society or American Urological Association still recommends it, and doctors are still, primary care doctors are still recommending it because of the notion that PSA testing saves lives. And in fact, if you look at the recommendations, if you look at the actual report, no one is questioning the PSA testing saves lives. In fact, it is documented that the amount of cancer deaths due to prostate cancer goes down because of this type of procedure. However, if you look at the whole picture and consider issues of quality of life, and you consider issues of people getting illnesses or suffering consequences from the biopsies that occur, from the procedures that occur, from other things that occur, other than cancer deaths in isolation, what you find is, or at least what the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force finds, is that on balance, the testing is doing more harm than good. So how does this apply to homework? Well, if we look at the homework debate, we're going to see that there's a lot of controversy about the homework debate, and there's various information that comes out. Recently, in Australia, there was a study that showed that homework has very little effect, I think, except for when it was in, say, 11th or 12th grade. And this is not out of line with other studies we already know about. Harris Cooper has said that homework has no real effect in elementary school, maybe a little bit in middle school, maybe a little more in high school, but basically has advocated for homework based on its intangible effects. And we're obviously in a period of time where we're very concerned about our education, about our kids keeping up with people around the world, and the natural thought is, well, if you do more work at home, you extend the amount of education, and the child learns more. So the debate goes on about whether homework has value, and what you'll typically find is people will will look at the evidence on the side that supports what they believe. Teachers who have used homework and have perceived it as effective in their daily life are going to use it, just as the doctor who's recommended PSA testing and knows a case or knows some people who might have died if they didn't have that testing, they're going to continue to believe what they believe. And then you'll have other people that'll have negative points of view, and then a piece of research will come out, and they'll say, it'll be, aha, here it is. The research shows that there's a problem with it. Well, what the position I'm taking is that if you take a look on balance at homework and you look at the whole picture, and don't get hung up with the question of does it have positive effects for some or does it not, but you look at the whole picture, I don't think you can discount the fact that at least for a substantial number of kids, homework is doing more harm than good. In my book, I estimate 10 to 25%. It is an estimate, and there's certainly a wide range, so I'm readily telling you that I don't have hard statistics on this. The statistics I have seen have ranged from 47%. I saw the results of one study that 40% of all families have at least one all-out battle of homework, about homework. One all-out battle, to me, is not sufficient to question the policy. My friend Jay Cooter, who's a professor of special education at Rowan University, directed me to a study for Metropolitan Life Insurance that shows that about 25% of all kids have what they define as serious homework problems. I use the word 10% because it does seem to me that of every class of 20 kids, there's at least two that are really drowning under the homework struggle. As a kind of heuristic estimate, I know that when I talk to parents and just share that this is what I'm doing and that I'm looking at the homework issue, it just amazes me how many parents' eyes go wide open, or how many teachers sort of relate to, that they've had stories in their experience of kids that look like they had so much promise and then they just go downhill, and it all starts with the homework they didn't do. So I think there is ample evidence to show that at least a certain percentage of kids are getting harmed by this system. Now, my focus has always been, I'm a psychologist, I'm not an educator, and my focus has always been on looking at those kids that are getting harmed and saying, well, what can we do about it? So the suggestions I've offered are aimed directly at those homework trapped children. However, I do think that we have to look at the system as a whole, because there are many children that are, in this kind of middle zone where they may be like the people who take the PSA test and they have the biopsy, and maybe the biopsy is negative, or maybe the biopsy shows some sort of minor form of cancer, and maybe they make a decision not to go for radical treatment. But the point is, I have a friend, or I know somebody who had to use a catheter for 6 months after he was successfully treated for his prostate cancer, and it had a major impact on his life. And I have no idea if that was a type of cancer that was going to kill him, or whether it was a more slow-growing type of cancer. I don't really know. But his life was really pretty miserable because of that. And then there are other people who they say that they're very glad that they had this procedure. Who knows? Who really knows? However, the key issue in prostate testing is that you have to look at the whole picture, not just the saving lives, but the whole picture. And this is what this task force is doing. And the key issue with homework is that we have to look at the whole child, and it's not just a question of education alone. I hope this is helpful, and I hope it's at least food for thought, something to consider when looking at your view on homework policy.